I remember in 9th class, I think in 9th class, I was watching TV. There used to be a TV serial called Udan, where this girl she becomes a police officer, and I was crying and I was speaking to myself, ye din meri zindagi mein kab aayega. I'm not joking, I'm very serious about it. And then wo din meri zindagi mein aaya.
देवी दुर्गा के कई रूप हैं, उनका मुख्य रूप गौरी है, अर्थात शांतमय, सुंदर। उनका सबसे भयानक रूप है काली। उनके एक हाथ में त्रिशूल है तो दूसरे हाथ में कमल का फूल। कमल का फूल जहां कठोर वक्त में संयम रखना सिखाता है, ठीक उसके विपरीत दूसरे हाथ में रखा त्रिशूल महिषासुर जैसे दानव का वध भी कर सकता है। तो ये है हमारे देश की नारी शक्ति, जो कि सब कुछ करने में सक्षम है। In short, we can say that a woman is protector and destroyer at the same time. खैर, आज हम आपकी मुलाकात कराएंगे एक ऐसी महिला से जिन्हें आप वुमेन एम्पावरमेंट का रोल मॉडल मान सकते हैं। चलिए ये बताइए कि एक महिला को आप किस किस रूप में देख सकते हैं। सबसे पहले एक माँ, फिर एक दोस्त, फिर एक गुरु, धर्मपत्नी और सबसे अंत में रक्षक, जैसे रानी लक्ष्मीबाई, झलकारी बाई, रजिया सुल्तान, रानी अबक्का। लेकिन आज के दौर में कहाँ मिलते हैं ये सब लोग एक साथ? मिलते हैं। तो आज हम आपकी मुलाकात कराएंगे कैप्टन दिनीशा भारद्वाज जी से। शी इज द फर्स्ट बैच ऑफ लेडीज ऑफिसर्स इन इंडियन आर्मी। मैं इनके बारे में जितना बोलूंगा उतना कम होगा। चलिए खुद चलते हुए मिलते हैं। You are one of the most versatile person we have ever interviewed. May we know how was your childhood? I mean, how did it nurtured you in what you are today?
Going little back, my parents migrated from then India, now Pakistan. Both of them, and of course they came to India and got married. My dad was a doctor. He studied from Lahore Medical College. He did his final year, and before completion of the exams, they were given degree to come back to India. And my mom was a young girl, so that's how. Why I'm talking about this is because there are so many things which are connected to this ideology, that you are leaving everything and you're starting life from scratch. You're leaving your home, your household and your love of life. That's how a lot of dreams, because their dreams which they left, nurturing us for dreams of having dreams for 2 daughters in India that time, and aspiring them to cross what they had and much more than that. Was my childhood full of aspirations, full of support, yet full of being empowered.
So inspiring. So who has been the source of inspiration and empowerment?
My dad empowered us, especially to me, even from very, very tender age. And he always wanted, one thing he used to say, that whatever you do, stand to that level where you can stand for others. I'm not grooming you, I'm not nurturing you to be yourself independent and being powerful, but I want you to reach that level where you can stand for others also, and give when you are in capacity to give. Give whatever you can give in present capacity.
कि हम 77वां स्वतंत्रता दिवस मना रहे हैं, 76 साल से हम आज़ाद हैं। एक छोटा सा अनुरोध करती हूँ, हमें पता है कि हम कहाँ सही हैं और कहाँ गलत, बस अपने आप को उस गलत से आज़ादी दे दो। अगर हमने ऐसा कर लिया तो विश्व में कोई ऐसी ताकत नहीं है जो हमारा स्थान, जो हमें चाहिए, जो हमारा था, हमारा होना चाहिए, हमारा है, लेकिन हम फिर भी उस स्थान पर पहुँचने के लिए आज भी दौड़ लगा रहे हैं।
So we played, we studied, we struggled, and lot of ups and downs, because they were growing old when we were not even teenagers. My dad was he was in hospital when I was in 12th class and preparatory leave was there. So When children were preparing hard for the exams, I was running around in hospitals. And that's how. More determination, never gave up. Rather, all these things strengthened me, strengthened both of us. And one thing which I learned, when the tough gets going, the going gets tough, and there was no looking back. So there is a different spirit culminated altogether. My childhood was actually dynamic. Sometimes they're given a forum. I can write a book on my childhood, but I'm waiting for an occasion where I get that platform which my dad wanted me to achieve, yet to come.
So the going gets tough, tough gets going. How did the idea of joining Indian Armed Forces came to you?
I remember in 9th class, I was watching TV. There used to be a TV serial called Udaan, where this girl she becomes a police officer, and I remember our house was like old type of construction where rooms were there, and outside there was an open space where my dad was sitting outside and he was having food, and I was sitting inside the room, and we were watching TV and that Udaan serial was going on, and I was sitting alone in my room, nobody was there. And I was crying and I was speaking to myself, ye din meri zindagi mein kab aayega. I'm not joking, I'm very serious about it. Credit goes to my teacher. So so then that time I was taking tuitions to manage my studies, lot of tuitions. And one fine day I got irritated because my tuitions decreased. And I got frustrated that this is not what I want. Then I started taking employment news, and I saw this advertisement in employment news. Kind of test it is, no preparation, absolutely nothing. And I was through. And then wo din meri zindagi mein aaya, but my parents could not come for my pipping ceremony, we call it.
It's a great feeling, of course, that you have come so far in spite of all the rigors, reaching that antim pag.
So my parents couldn't come. My cousin came from Chennai, but then I travelled back by train. I changed into uniform in train. I got down, took a cab, came home. Like that girl came home. So I came home and met my dad in uniform.
Yes. And your dad must have been a very proud father. So how was your SSB?
People call it biggest rejection center. So I was part of SSB Allahabad and then 18 SSB. So people used to go in the evening, Sangam, Prayag, everywhere. I decided, no, I will not go unless I get my result that I am through, I will not go. I didn't go out. And SSB was as the way it was coming up, and I was being true to myself, honestly. And probably that's what SSB looks for. And I can close my eyes and live that SSB 5 days and 15 days of medical even now. Every day was lived by me. And one more thing, I was so scared because I was not the one who was privileged there. There were girls coming in their dad's staff cars. So I was kind of, one side was pulling me back. But then somebody was interacting with me. He was a sweeper. He was going on retirement, and I said, they have announced that you have to go back if you are not clearing on 4th day after conference. You have to pack on bag and go back. So he said, Baba, आपका तो clear होगा. I said, how do you know? कहता हमने बहुत लोगों का देखा, हमें पता है किसका clear होता है. So SSB was amazing.
So how was your first female batch SSB period?
First female batch SSB, first training for female batch, everything first, everything new, everything experimental, everything celebrity, everything achievable, but everything for you being a lady officer. We were in our hearts and minds taking onus for everything, that what you do will impact future generations. When I was posted in Dehradun, Kiran Bedi won Magsaysay award that time, and there was an organization who called her, and since we were the first lady officers from army, so they called us also, and I had fortune to sit next to her and walk around with her. So she talked about, have you read my book I Dare? I said, yeah, I have the book but I haven't read. So she said, you must read this. She was asking me, how do you feel being first? I said, ma'am, how do you feel being first? We need to learn from you rather. So she said, one thing when you read the book, you'll find, and I'll quote it here, and I quote to everyone, no offense to menfolk, but she wrote, and I quote, that a man gets accepted and proves himself, whereas woman proves herself and then gets accepted.
So right. So what is the best thing Indian Army has taught you?
One best thing is take best out of worst. That's what Indian Army is. I can sit down on muddy floor and enjoy my meal without any hiccups and cribs. I means all the officers. And we can stand tall in one of the best probably joints or places on this earth, and we would enjoy the same comfort zone there. This is the best about Indian Army. It molds you, it burns you, and it brings out best in you, and it teaches you how to bring out best out of any worst. And second best is holding your emotions and loving everybody around you. And third thing which Indian Army teaches you is life is your appraisal. In corporate we run across appraisals, achievements, but for army operations you come back alive, and that is your appraisal, isn't it?
Right. Life is your appraisal, very correct. And you were part of Operation Parakram. So what exactly was Operation Parakram, and where were you posted by that time?
Operation Parakram was operation which was launched post Sansad attack in 2003.
5013, firing हो रहे हैं, कमांडर ऑपरेशन कमांडर, डेलीगेट 1 के सामने से फायरिंग का हो रहा है।
All the peace regulations get cancelled, you leave your accommodation and come to live in field conditions. You get roles to make sure that you're part of the security of the country live that time. So that was the duty. I used to go around in city and check the security. I used to go around and make sure the things are in place. We came out and we went into dugouts. We came in bunkers, and that's how from there we were operating, and that was all about Parakram there. And we used to sit from morning to evening, night till there in dugouts and check everything, whatever comes your way. So it was absolutely field conditions, despite it was a peace posting, but it was absolutely in field conditions. And wherever we are, suppose somebody was in field area, so it was more prominent. But I used to visit and check the companies in border areas. I had a young child, little girl, 1 year old. I remember when you said you a mother. I used to leave my daughter with maid. I used to go and check the garrison duties and all at midnight, taking the machine carbine with me and leaving the child alone, going on stand 2 and leaving the child with, of course, I got permission to keep the maid. But I used to leave it, fine, the child is there, the child will cry and sleep or not sleep, but I have to do justice to what I am doing. So I used to be out, and sometimes I can confess now, whenever I used to go, I used to touch my child, because I used to have that doubt I may not come back. I used to touch my child, kiss her, and then I used to go. I had to leave her number of times crying for my responsibilities, duties, and moving out of the campus number of times. I used to give her a kiss. I never told anybody, you're the first person, and through you to the people who will listen to me. I had, every time I used to go out, I had that in mind that I should come. And that's why I said, one thing which we all learn in army, life is the appraisal. You come back alive, that is the appraisal. So that was one thing. Don't worry, I will not cry.
How did you met your husband?
How did I meet my husband is, I can say that, the life probably plans things for you sometimes. I met him when we were students. We exchanged address, so letter writing used to happen, and then we disconnected. And we lost connect. Then I became an officer. I didn't know where he was. He joined RPF. I didn't know, and I was posted at Ahmednagar. I had a friend who was there in Nagar, so she came to drop me, and I see somebody in police driving his bike and coming. We changed. 2, 3, 4 years appearance changes. So I'm seeing somebody, and she says, "Oh, here comes another friend." They were friends. So then she introduced so and so. I said, "Naam to jana pehchana sa lag raha hai." And then he read my name plus. "Oh my God, how come you are Nami?" And I said, "Yeah, hello." And then started, and then I invited him to Diwali party, Choti Diwali party. I was kind of little notorious, so I picked up one anar and I said, "Take care, so I'm doing this ritual for you." I put that on fire and it bursted in my hand. I burnt my hand. He was supposed to come. I don't know whether he came or not. I was on sedative, shifted to military hospital that night. Next day they came. So as of now, no dating happened. Okay. So even before also no dating happened. He used to come and sit whole day, and that was the love affair. So then I was shifted to Pune Command Hospital Burn Center because it was not recovering. So the next day when I was supposed to travel, we decided to get married. And he proposed and I said yes.
So how was your first anniversary?
And that was the expedition to Nag Tibba, ahead of Mussoorie. And then he said, "I'm coming for one day." I said, "Come." Then my boss permitted, and we planned to come together. I picked him up from Mussoorie. He came to that base camp where we were there, and that was our anniversary, first anniversary. And there was a chota sa dhaba mitti wala, and then we went and asked him, "Khana kuch mil jayega?" He said, "Kya khaoge?" So I said, "Kya hai aapke paas?" He had some lauki and dal. I said, "Nahi, ye to nahi khayenge." To kehte, "Kya khaoge?" So I loved capsicum. So I said, "Capsicum ban jayega, potato capsicum." He said, "ठीक है, आप 2 minute बैठो." He went across, bought capsicum, cooked that, brought one Amul butter, advertising Amul here. Utterly delicious Amul. Then he marrowed nice tadka. He served capsicum aloo, dal with tadka, jeera rice and rotis, and we ate like anything. And we got married in 98. I'm talking about 99 September 30th. And we enjoyed that dinner, and we said, "कितना पैसा हुआ?" He said, "50, थोड़ा ज़्यादा होगा मैडम, अमूल बटर लाया था, ये लाया था." I said, "कोई बात नहीं, कितना हुआ? आप 50 दे दो." I said, "Thank you so much." I still have that picture, and that 50 rupees is more than precious. After that we dined in all the stars, 5, 6, 7 stars, but that 50 rupees dinner is very precious to me.
In a short span of time, you have achieved many things, from serving in Indian Army to an educationist. How do you quote success in your own terms?
Success and achievement in life is closing the brackets from where you started and where you want to go. Flexible brackets, walking throughout with bold, good stamina, and yet supporting people around you, holding hands and smiling together. Enjoying the achievements, learning from where you tumbled, and making sure that others don't tumble. It's not verbatism. It is not ideology I'm talking about. I'm talking about what I do. That's my journey of success. That's what my achievement of success. Achievement and success is state of mind. Be strong and keep walking. Sit down and analyze when it is not your way. Move ahead. Keep walking. Keep walking is the journey and mantra of my success.
Since you are an educationist too, apart from being an army officer, and as per NCRB data, more than 13,000 students committed suicide in 2021 itself. Why stress has become an issue with students these days?
Well, I speak against this word stress. Partially, little stress is very important, because unless there is a stress, you won't go. There has to be a shark in a pond for all your blood circulation to be 100%. So that level of shark, stress of that level should be there in everybody's life. Rest, which we call stress, which we call mental upsetness or mental health or something, is our weakness. Whether if I feel, I say that I am stressed, or if people say these days that we have mental health issues, somewhere we are not nurturing, or we are not getting nurtured in right direction. This word stress and mental health has come now quite in a dominating way. It wasn't there before. And I still tell everyone, and through this channel I would like to tell again, dear parents and all the young ones, youngsters, empower each other, parents and educationists, to empower children to develop something which is most important besides IQ, besides EQ, besides SQ, is something called AQ, adversary quotient. Nurture this adversary quotient in everybody. That's what army does in all of us. That's how we are dancing. You see people, multiple videos, people dancing in Leh, people are in field area, yet they are enjoying. Aren't they having upsetness? Aren't they troubled with their own life troubles? But adversary quotient to be nurtured, and the stress will automatically fly off. Adversary quotient is your mental, physical, emotional robustness to stand against any odd and yet remain peaceful and keep walking, is the adversary quotient. If any adversity comes, what happens is, first we feel upset, we tend to give up, we tend to react, we feel sad, we go under depression, we start taking medicines, we start taking pills. Stand against it. And do I have time to give a small story? How I talk about this session, adversary quotient. There was an eggshell breaking, a shell breaking, and insect coming out of it. The insect struggling. This will answer your what is adversary quotient. The insect struggling. The child feels, oh my God, this little soul is struggling. The child kind of tore off the shell of the egg so that the insect comes out comfortably. Insect comes out, flutters the wing, flutters, dies. The child, being innocent and nicely brought up by mother, goes to mom and says, Mom, I did that and this happened to the child, the insect. So she said, my dear child, yes, we need to be good, supportive, but then what you did was, that struggle for this insect was strengthening of muscles. You removed that struggle from its life. So the muscles were not strengthened. It couldn't take off the flight of its life. Struggled. The muscles were weak. Struggled, couldn't cope up with life, died. That's what we are doing to our children. Don't cry. You want something? Why your school is telling, let me sort out your teachers, let me sort out everybody. This is happening, let me give you best. We are giving best. As the outcome, we are making our generations weak. And that's how any problem coming, maybe the child either fights, resigns, commits suicide, because we are not ready, we are not making them ready to fight with the situation. And that's what the adversary quotient is.
How technology is changing the education system in India?
Anything coming up new is a value addition. And is a value addition, please note the term value addition, it is a support system. Maintaining the adversary quotient, we need to empower ourselves first, and then the generation with whom we are and to whom we are nurturing, that this is for you to enrich, this is for you to create something new for the world and use it, don't get used by it. So that is what it is. We should not get used by anything coming up in the technology, we should not become handicapped to it, we should use it to our best to create the rest. Because otherwise there is no limit. It is, one can get swayed, and still people are getting swayed and getting caught and getting prey of everything, and then there are cyber crime, and then there are cyber policing, and so many things are there. So then what is the solution? Catch and nurture, catch and punish? No. stop that? No. Then what? Just use it judiciously. And who will use it? Nobody will tell you. Empower yourself and empower people around you to use it judiciously. So there is a gap of understanding and crossing the borderline. Let's not cross it. There are dark net, there's dark webs, everything is there. Why do we want to go on the path which says dark and nurture, and when there is a risk? Let each one of us empower people around us to understand the difference and step accordingly. Otherwise things are unsafe. Fire is unsafe. Can we do away with fire? We can't cook. It helps us to cook, it burn the house. What do we need to do? Should we stop it? No, we tell our children not to use it in a way. So technology is fire, in other words. It is life, but it is disaster also.
So technology is fire. Deh shiva baru mohi ihe sukh, karman se kabhu na taro. न डरो वरी सो जब जाई लरो, निश्चय करो अपनी जीत करो. जिनके खून में ऐसा जोश भरा हो, वो लोग सोसाइटी को हमेशा कुछ ना कुछ देते रहते हैं. As of now, she is principal of DPS school and contributing as an educationist to the future of India. Unsung India Foundation चैनल के साथ बने रहिए, काफ़ी कुछ आने वाला है. जय हिंद.